Our story begins with a man, an individual of remarkable kindness and intelligence, who worked in an administrative position that saw him transferred to different cities every few years. Not just an exceptional public servant, he was also a wonderful father. He knew that children don't learn from sermons. To instill morality in their hearts, one must try different methods. Rather than scolding for mistakes, it's more effective to make them realize their error. His wish was for his daughter to grow up to be as compassionate as him. One day, a former servant of his paid a visit to his home. This servant used to work for him in the previous city where he was posted. Back then, his daughter was only 6 months old. By the time he was transferred from there, his daughter was a little over 4 years. The servant used to feed the little girl in his arms. As he had left his daughter of the same age back in the village to earn a living in the city, he had developed a deep affection for the officer's daughter. He saw his own daughter in her and began to love her just as much. Today, when he was in the city for some work, he couldn't resist meeting the officer's daughter. He went to the officer's house just to have a glimpse of her. For the little girl, he had brought sweets, tied up in a bundle. The officer was a man who respected everyone's feelings and was always kind to his servants. He understood the servant's sentiments. He called his daughter into the drawing room where the servant was waiting. "Minnie, come here. Look who's here to meet you." The daughter, who was now 10 years old, came at her father's call but didn't recognize the servant. She didn't remember the days of playing with the servant in her childhood, and growing up had brought a bit of ego into her. The father explained to her, "This is Ramu, uncle, who loves you very much. Look, he has brought sweets for you. Have some." The daughter took the sweet at her father's instruction, but was thinking, "I wonder what's gotten into Dad, asking me to eat sweets from this poor man's dirty bundle." Meanwhile, the officer was wondering if the servant had enough money to buy food during his journey back. The officer thought of a way to feed him without hurting his pride. He told his daughter, "You've just learned to make rotis, right? Why don't you make some for your uncle?" Then he told the servant, "Go back after eating the roti made by your beloved daughter. Look how grown up she is. She has even learned to make rotis." The daughter complied with her father's order, but there was anger on her face. After the servant left, the father didn't say anything to the daughter directly. He just stopped pampering her. In a few days, the daughter realized that something was wrong, as her father was not pampering her as before. Then the father brought a book from the library, a story by the great writer Rabindranath Tagore, Kabuliwala. It's a story about a fruit seller who comes from afar to sell fruits and becomes attached to a little girl who is the same age as his daughter. After hearing the story, the daughter starts crying. She feels the pain of the Kabuliwala. From the next day, when the father goes to the slums for his office work to hear the problems of the poor, he takes his daughter along. There, she sees their pain and suffering firsthand. This way, compassion replaces ego in the daughter's heart. After a few days, the daughter herself says that she did wrong by not respecting the servant's love. Compassion has awakened in her heart. Now the father pampers her a lot. Then he explains that we have been given a lot by fate. Therefore, it's our responsibility to help others. If we have excess wealth, we should give it away. If we have time, we should teach them. And if we can't do anything else, at least we should give them love and respect. In this way, without scolding, without using a preachy tone, this lesson was given, first by awakening compassion and empathy in the heart through literature and direct observation. This lesson deeply touched the daughter's heart. In summary, this touching tale imparts a timeless lesson about empathy, compassion, and the importance of understanding others' feelings. It shows us that sometimes the most powerful lessons aren't taught through words, but through experiences and actions. It serves as a reminder of the power of empathy and the change it can bring about in one's perspective. This story teaches us that we should not only be kind and understanding towards the people in our own circles, but also towards those who are less fortunate than us. It teaches us to treat everyone with respect and dignity, regardless of their social status. This is a lesson we can all take to heart, making the world a kinder and more understanding place, one act of kindness at a time.